Assalamu alaikum. Hello everyone. It's my last day in Abu Dhabi stroke Dubai. I've been here for the last 5 days, of which I've spent 4 days in Abu Dhabi and 1 day in Dubai. So I thought, obviously, as with every other video that I've done, I'll give you a quick summary, well, not a quick, a lengthy summary of what my experience was like, and throw in some tips and hints for you guys as well, just to help you, or the first time travelers. First thing, when you come to Abu Dhabi, within the actual airport itself, if you decide to come with a bus, get a lengthy bus pass. So when I was there, they asked me, oh, would I want to buy a bus pass for 5 dirham, 20 dirham, 25 dirham, etc. I chose the lowest option, thinking, okay, once I'm within the city, I can pay on the buses and then travel around. Well, you can't. You got to use that bus pass. They don't accept money on the buses, and throughout the whole of Abu Dhabi, I mean, there must be only 1 or 2 places where you can top up the bus pass as well. So insert, if you're coming for, like, say 5 days, insert something like 25 dirham as a minimum, because you're going to find it so difficult afterward to top up that card. So, and that card is what you use to go on the buses. Whenever you go on, you tap onto the onto the screen, onto the system, and then you tap out, and that's how it calculates. So you do need the bus pass. The bus, when you're traveling throughout Abu Dhabi, the bus is the cheapest option, but it's also the most frustrating, simply because there's about 25 minutes, 30 minutes gap between one bus to another, even though it's such a busy major city. Even on the main route itself, it's like 20-25 minutes wait. So sometimes you do have to get the taxis, because I just out of frustration. The taxis are okay, they're not that bad. They're moderately priced, but obviously the bus is by far the cheaper option, and it's incredibly cheap. But unfortunately, it's incredibly frustrating and time wasting as well. But first thing, like I said, get that bus pass within the airport. Second thing, within the airport, they also offer a SIM card. So obviously, as soon as you come to a new country, the first thing you want to sort out is your internet access. So you got access to a map and your social media and your all those things. Sadly, within the Abu Dhabi airport, there are 2 major companies of Etisalat and Du, who are the 2 biggest mobile providers. They charge a lot for the SIM card. In Dubai, it's supposed to be free. That's what a friend told me. But within Abu Dhabi airport, they charge you 5 times what the normal amount is. So when I went to one of the companies, they said to me 50 dirham, or around about 50 or 55 dirham, just for the SIM card, nothing else, no package, no nothing. So just to buy the SIM card alone with a number, with no internet, no nothing, was 55 dirham. So obviously I rejected it, and I thought, friend told me it was free, I'm not going to pay 55 dirham for that. I'll just come and buy from one of the shops. You can, don't travel to the headquarters, or don't travel to any of those either Du or the Etisalat main buildings. Within Abu Dhabi itself, there are various mobile, normal mobile shops where for 10 dirham you can buy the SIM card, but they do want to see your passport. In some shops they also want to see your visa as well. So when you enter Abu Dhabi, some people get a visa, like a 28-day or 14 days visa, etc. I only got a mere stamp. When I showed the stamp, the guy, initially rejected it. And then when I said, well, this is all that they gave me in the airport, it's not my fault. He then reluctantly, took it and then gave me the SIM card only for 10 dirham. So if you get it from the airport, it's 5 times the much. So anyway, coming from the airport with the bus, I would advise you get off the main bus terminal. You can't miss it. It's a huge green building. It's about 1 hour away from the actual airport itself, and for another further 10-15 minutes bus ride away from the core city centre along the Cornish beach itself. So yeah, get off the main bus terminal, and if you haven't got your internet or anything sorted and you don't know where you're going, obviously get a taxi first. So for the first day, combine bus and taxi, because if you do grab a taxi from the airport, it's a lot of money. So yeah, within the actual buses, the A1 bus that comes from the Abu Dhabi airport to the main bus terminal. It's a bit like a coach. You can, there's side compartments outside, there's the bus itself, for you to put your main luggages. So there's not issue with that. One other, petty thing is, the buses are tinted, so you don't really get to see the outside. When you're traveling, to Abu Dhabi, you don't really get to see it really that well, because it's not clear. There's a bit of black tint, and it's a bit shitty, to be honest, because it spoils your view. It does protect you from the sun, which is cool, but you want to see the view and you don't. The first thing, I'll talk about Abu Dhabi first, and I'll interchange between Abu Dhabi and Dubai. In terms of Dubai has the metro system, which is awesome, and they also have trams. So along with the buses, Dubai has a metro system and buses and trams. The metro is incredibly, it's like the underground system of London, where everything's fast, everything's quick, and there's a lot of good frequency as well. As an idea, just to let you know, from one stop to another stop, it's roughly about 1 dirham. So if you're going from one place and the place you want to go to, arguments that you want to go to Burj Al Khalifa, which is 6 stops away, it'll cost you roughly about 5 to 6 dirham that journey alone. The metro system tends to travel around the main parts of the city. A lot of attractions are obviously away from the main part. It's about 2 miles away or 3 miles away or a mile away. You do then have to get the bus, and it's the same issue within Dubai as with Abu Dhabi. The buses are like half an hour away, so 25 minutes, 30 minutes away. You do scan in with the card. But Dubai is a bit more superior in terms of the card system. They have what's known as the Noel card, and the Noel card is what gives you access to, you can use it for taxis, buses, and I think trains, whereas in Abu Dhabi it's only for buses. Abu Dhabi doesn't have a metro system, it only has taxis and buses. So that's the way to travel around the city. Food wise, as I mentioned in my introductory videos, both Abu Dhabi and Dubai are largely Southeastern Asian community, so the most places you're going to go to are like Asian food, your Indian restaurants of the world. There's a good section for vegetarian in every restaurant as well. So if you're a vegetarian, then there's no problem with that. Prices are okay. It's roughly about, for a main meal, anything between 15 to 20 dirham in a normal restaurant, which is roughly about £3 to £4 just for the meal itself. So that's quite good. Food is nice, good variety. Accommodation wise, there are obviously a lot of places for you to stay. The hotels are expensive. I stayed in Airbnb accommodation, so that worked out quite well for me. In terms of walking around, etc., the traffic, the traffic wise, there are huge, massive roads. Both Dubai and Abu Dhabi has constant traffic, but it's so incredibly well organized. Each road has, each of the main roads have 3 lanes, 4 lanes. They drive on the right hand side. So whereas in UK we drive on the left hand side, they drive on the right hand side, a bit like America. The roads are like America as well, they're massive. So yeah, the traffic's constantly flowing. One thing you got to be wary of though is that people cross, they don't cross randomly. When you go to a Southeast Asian countries or in Europe or whatnot, you just cross anywhere in the road. In here, they're much more disciplined. People don't just randomly cross anywhere. They go near the traffic light and they cross there. It's one of those things that I don't know if it's a law or just a cultural habit, but no one just randomly cross the road anywhere. They wait. They're very disciplined. It's quite cute actually. It's quite funny and cute because you see people, and until the traffic light changes for them to walk, they just stand there, even if there's no cars. In UK, you'd be like, well, fuck it, I'll cross. But here they don't. They wait. Everybody, young and old, they wait until it changes green. And one funny thing about the traffic lights as well is the instructions for the traffic lights for the pedestrians. the one to stop, which is indicating stop, is like a hand, a red hand, which is like halting you, saying stop, don't go. And then the one to, which says you gotta go, is a green. It's a green, man symbol. And in some of the traffic lights, the actual is animated, so the man's actually walking. So that's quite cool. It's quite funny when you first see a red hand stopping you and a green man walking you. It's quite cool. In terms of dress code, I mean, Abu Dhabi is more modest than Dubai is. Dubai, people call it some people crudely call it the Las Vegas of Middle East, and you know what, to an extent it's right. I mean, when you go there, people are wearing skimpy clothes and whatnot, and no one gives a shit, which for me was a bit disappointing, because obviously it's a Muslim country and or a Muslim city. I expected a bit more better moral code. Thankfully with Abu Dhabi, I mean, there is no law here saying that you have to wear modest clothes, but people do. Very rarely do you see guys within Abu Dhabi wearing shorts, or women, with, half naked one. I mean, you don't, which is good. It's nice. It's just people respect the fact that there's a level of modesty here. I'm the only clown who was wearing shorts throughout the whole day. I mean, it's hot for me, but for them it's hot. But most people wear jeans and trousers. In Dubai, anything goes. And which is a bit, I don't know. It's a bit disappointing. Coming back to Abu Dhabi, I'll tell you, the ultimate question is which is better, Abu Dhabi or Dubai. But before I answer that, I'll talk individually about each of the places now. Abu Dhabi, attraction-wise, is not that many. The main attractions within Abu Dhabi is the Sheikh Zayed Grand Masjid, Emirates Palace, Etihad Towers, the Abu Dhabi Beach or Cornish Beach, then the Yas Island. These are essentially the core things that most people come to Abu Dhabi for. There are obviously other things like the heritage and the malls and whatnot, but these are essentially the core things. I found Abu Dhabi quite frustrating, simply because, for example, when I went to the mosque, which is honestly, it's miles away, on the day we had a bit of a sandstorm. And it took a long time to get there. If you don't stop with the bus, if you don't stop to the bus stop before the masjid itself, then the bus goes all around what seems to be like the highway, and the next stop is like so much far away. So when I eventually got to the masjid, etc., the high-handedness of the guards, of the security guards, they're not so welcoming, they're not so friendly. I mean, it's such an iconic landmark, and it's such an amazing place. It's a mosque, it's a place of worship. They should be so compassionate and whatnot, but they're not. And that was a huge disappointment, because not only did you have the hot air coming in and the sandstorms, and you then had the attitude of the security staff, and that spoiled it for me. And if you guys see me in the video, you can see my face, you can tell from my body language and the way I was, and the way I was moaning and ranting away. That is the best attraction in Abu Dhabi, and that is the one where the hospitality is rubbish. I mean, God, what a shame. What a shame for a major city like this. Then the second one is the Emirates Palace. Emirates Palace is a 7-star hotel. I mean, I don't know of that many 7-star hotels in the world, so I was super excited about going to it and seeing it up close, etc. Now, it has a perimeter of roughly what seems like 100 to 150 meters, or even 200 meters. That's how far you have to be in order to see it, so you can't even go up close or nothing. So all you're doing is seeing it from far, and you can't, it's pointless, because then you can't see the design, you can't see the building. Forget about even entering it. We all know it's a luxurious hotel. We all know, the vast majority of working class, middle class people, we can never afford to stay there. But for God's sake, at least give us the access, the privilege of enjoying it and seeing your beauty. Well, 200 meters away, it's like a blur. You can't even see it. So the two best things within Abu Dhabi are the two most disappointing in terms of experience wise. What was good, what I really loved, I thought Etihad Towers was amazing. What a beautiful design. I mean, there it is in the background. You guys can see it just there. What a beautiful building. You can go up close and personal. It gives you goosebumps when you see, you know, as a movie fan, you know, it's been in a lot of major movies, Bollywood, Hollywood, etc. So that's really cool. The beach, Cornish beach, is by far my favorite spot in Abu Dhabi. I mean, I'm here recording my final summary, my final thoughts from the beach itself, and look at it. I mean, peak traffic, you can barely hear it. The views on this side, as I've said it even in my introductory videos, you've got like, look, the marine, you've got the malls, you've got the heritage, you know, village, you've got President's Palace, Emirates Palace, you've got Etihad Towers, you know, the whole of Abu Dhabi and the other islands and the Yas Islands. It's just phenomenal. This is the number, I would say, was the number one spot for me. I know the Sheikh Zayed Grand Mosque is voted as the number one thing, but for me personally, I think this has given me more joy and enjoyment, and this Abu Dhabi beach, Cornish beach, is what everyone needs to come to first. It's beautiful, and it's what Abu Dhabi should be like. What else was good? I mean, I think what I love about Abu Dhabi is, firstly, it's so easy to navigate. It's a rectangular city. All the roads are running parallel to each other, one way, and you know, obviously crosses the other way as well. So it's so easy to know where you are. Even, you know, you can't get lost. There's no weaving about. There's no, like, you know, it's so simple. It's a grid system. It's a grid system, and it's so easy. I mean, I live in Liverpool, and sometimes I get lost even in Liverpool. But here, you can never get lost. You know, and I've only been here, you know, for 4 or 5 days. So that's a superb quality of Abu Dhabi. One other thing, sorry, I forgot to mention, is regarding the Yas Island. Unless you're a fan of cars and Formula One and whatnot, like a Ferrari and whatnot, there isn't much within Yas Island. Yas Island, again, is supposed to be another one of those must-see places within Abu Dhabi, with the Ferrari world and the malls. The Ferrari world is expensive, 65 pound per adult just to enter, you know, just for some ride. I don't know, it's not the amount of money that I want to be spending. The mall is super expensive. It's very upmarket, very beautiful. It's nice, it's good walk, but again, if you're middle class or a working class person, you're not going to be spending any money there. So other than that, I mean, there's nothing else there. I mean, I know the Warner Brothers studios, they're making a studio there, and there's a, you know, Marina Circus and whatnot, but to be honest, I think a lot of people who went there, you know, on the bus, I left quite early and they were there waiting already in the bus stop to come back home as well. So I think everyone had the same experience, that there isn't much to do there if you're not into those type of things. Coming to Dubai, I spent 1 day in Dubai. And Dubai and Abu Dhabi, one thing about both of those places, they are incredibly huge places. Landscape-wise, I mean, in terms of the buildings, etc. So when you come from Europe, or if you come from countries like Bangladesh and one, or fairly smallish country, it's traveling, the time and the cost is a lot. You know, it's massive. You got to have a lot of patience. From one attraction to another attraction, they're like a good few miles away. So I had the privilege of staying in Malaysia for 5 weeks, and also for Singapore for 1 week. When I was in those two countries, every attraction was nearby. So after one attraction, the next attraction was like 10 minutes walk, 15 minutes walk, 20 minutes walk. It was fairly nearby. Here, you have to get a taxi, you have to get a bus, and it can be 15 minutes, 20 minutes, depending on the traffic as well. And so that's to go from one attraction to another, because it's a huge country. That's the first thing that both Abu Dhabi and Dubai hit you, is how big it is. So when I went to Dubai, to go from one attraction to another attraction, it takes a long time. and obviously that ultimately means it's also expensive. So you do have to end up spending quite a lot of money to go from one place to another place. Great thing about Dubai is, other than the buses, the metro system is phenomenal. The people, in terms of those people who are operating the metro system and the buses and the tourists, the people who are there to help the tourists, they are such beautiful human beings. They are so welcoming, so well spoken, so nice. That's something you don't get in Abu Dhabi. There's no one to ask any questions, no one to guide you, etc. When you get on the bus, they're not that well, versed in English, or they don't seem to be that welcoming and helping, and whereas Dubai's beautiful, such well-mannered country in terms of helping tourists. It's fantastic, so yeah, well done Dubai for having that. In terms of attractions, first thing I saw, because I went with the bus from Abu Dhabi to Dubai, landed in Jumeirah Lake Towers eventually, and that's literally next to Dubai Marina, and the Jumeirah JRB, or the Jumeirah residential beach, etc. That place is absolutely breathtakingly beautiful, in terms of as an urban high-rise place. So when you go there, Dubai instantly hits you that you're in Dubai. It makes a huge statement to your senses, visually, everything wise. It just blows you away, because the high-rise buildings are not like England or America, where it's just some shitty design or rectangular building, etc. You've got curves, you've got like circular, you've got like different shape, different color. It's stunning. It really messes with your senses, and your senses, your visually, everything is so beautifully overpowering. It's amazing. But it's also quite, I'll make that statement afterward. In terms, from there, I then tried to go to the Palm, the Atlantis. That part was a huge disappointment. I mean, that is, in one of the most iconic man-made island, the Palm. It's something that we foreigners always have dreamt to go and see, etc. Getting to the Palm, you need to walk through half an hour in a car park. In a car park, you walk, then you get on a monorail. The monorail is 30 dirham. Just to go, 30 dirham, just to go into the Palm or to the island itself and back. Just to see, not to go and do anything there, just to see. I mean, that's a lot. It's asking a lot from a person to walk like for half an hour, and then you're charging them 30 dirham just to go and take some photos. It's crazy. I mean, I know Dubai is exclusive. I know Dubai is elitist. I know Dubai wants to be seen as heaven for tourists and whatnot, but it's also bloody expensive. It's a bit expensive, and it's time consuming, and it really needs to sort that element of it out. Is from one attraction to another attraction is a lot of traveling. It's also expensive, and it just seems to be like a commercial. Everything's commercialized. The beauty is commercialized, and that's the sad thing about Dubai, is that you don't have access to the attractions freely, or even from fairly close up. Everything takes ages to get to, and everything you have to pay for. Anyway, subsequently I went to the Burj Al Arab. That was lovely. The beach, like the Cornish beach of Abu Dhabi, is absolutely stunning. Very clean, white sandy beach, beautiful, beautiful aqua blue water, clean. So definitely go for a swim next to Burj Al Arab in the beach. Again, you're fairly close to the Burj Al Arab. It is boarded off, but thankfully you can still take a lot of great photos. So that is a good, great thing. Then I went and saw my, friend Farid Bhai. He gave me a few ideas and tips, and after spending some lovely time with him, I then went to see Jumeirah Masjid and the Burj Khalifa and the Dubai Mall and the Dubai Fountain. Jumeirah Masjid it has a so-called open door, open mind philosophy, which basically means everyone is welcome there. I don't know. I mean, I went there, I had shorts on, I forgot to take my longi. I expected to be able to borrow like a jubba or a sarong. Longi is a sarong essentially, or something just to go inside the masjid, etc. Every other mosque I went along, within Malaysia, for example, they have clothes for ladies and men, like the jubba or you can look at it as the overcoat or a hooded long overcoat, so anybody can walk in, free of charge. In the Jumeirah Masjid, they don't have anything like that. They don't have any of those things. Well, when I asked the people anyway, one of the people from the masjid, he just gave me a blank expression when I said, brother, I know I'm wearing shorts, but you have something that I can wear over on top so I can go inside and look at the masjid. He didn't even say yes or no, he just shook his head in disapproval, looked down upon me, and then just walked away. Now, maybe that's just one person, one bad experience, but I don't really see that as an open door, open mind philosophy. I see that as extremely rude, and that was so disappointing, because every other masjid I saw, especially like in Malaysia, they were so loving and welcoming to foreigners, even people who are, women who are not modestly dressed. They're giving them the robe to wear. They're so nice and friendly. Jumeirah Masjid didn't have any of that. It is a beautiful masjid though. Don't get me wrong, it's small, but it's beautiful, but it's out of the way as well. So when you get off the metro, you then have to get a bus, which is about 15-20 minutes ride. Again, you have to wait quite a lot for the bus as well, and then you think, you can see it. So again, disappointed with that. You then go to Burj Khalifa. Now, the station that you get off in Burj Khalifa in the metro, is the Burj Khalifa metro station stop itself. It takes a further, it's like still a miles away, still about 1 mile away from the station to the Burj Khalifa itself. Now, within that mile, they have those floor escalators, which takes you to the mall. So you have to go to the mall, and from the mall you go to the Burj Khalifa and the fountain. But that is a huge long walk. So don't think just because you stop at the station it's 5 minutes walk and whatnot. It's not. It's roughly about a mile, and I'm not exaggerating. It's like one huge escalator, then it takes a turn, there's another escalator, then another escalator, and it goes on and on and on. And after that, after a little bit, like, well, it feels like an airport. Literally feels like an airport where you're going from one end to another end. But when you come to the mall, it's the world's largest and the biggest mall. It's the best mall in the world. It is definitely the best mall. I mean, I've been to a few malls since I've come to, say, Abu Dhabi, Dubai, Malaysia and all this. And I've been to a few other malls, like even in UK, shopping centres, etc. Nothing comes near Dubai Mall, because it has all amazing 5-star, upper class, upmarket shops. But it also has a lot of normal shops as well, incredibly beautifully designed. It's so nice. It's beautiful. The range of items you can get, that is a breathtaking place for anyone to go. And I'm not even a shopping addict, and I'm not one to go, and to be overawed by a mall. I get quite bored, but this mall was stunning, and it's beautiful. It has so much variety. Definitely a must. Even the waterfall was nice to see. The human waterfall, that's quite good. But when you come out from the mall and you go to the Dubai fountain, that is creme de la creme. That fountain, the show, the waterworks that you see when you go in the evening, it is gorgeous. It's one of the best things I've ever seen. I loved it so much I stayed there twice. Now, the first time I was recording and posing away and taking photos, and there was like a Spanish, a song playing. But the second time was like an Arabic song, and honest to God, I could have stayed there for 4 or 5 times to see the same fountain and the waterwork. It is beautiful. It's opulent. It's clever. It's creative. It's breathtakingly peaceful. It's the best thing. It's the best thing in Dubai. The Burj Khalifa itself is just a building. I mean, the Petronas, I love the design of Petronas more than I did the Burj Khalifa. The Burj Khalifa is just, it's just a beautiful building, but that's all it is. And there's nothing, there's no wow factor with it. I mean, the Petronas was more wow factor. Burj Khalifa is because the world's tallest building. It's, you know, and then you can take some funny, you know, photos and videos. So the Burj Khalifa is good for that reason. Yeah, after that was it for me. I didn't stay in Dubai for too long. My intention was to go back to Dubai the following day, but you know, the distance and I didn't. I found Dubai quite disappointing as a city, and I'll come back to now my views of both of the cities and whatnot. I mean, firstly, to answer my normal question, would I visit both of the cities again, both Abu Dhabi and Dubai again? 100%. I thought both of the cities are magnificent. I had a great time. They're incredibly safe. I've been to a few countries in various, you know, places in the world now, and Dubai and Abu Dhabi is by far the safest two countries or cities that I've ever been to. You know, in the evening, both of the cities come alive. You walk around, there's no, you know, dodgy looking people, there's no fear of nothing bad happening. You're not scared to come out 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock in the night or midnight or whatnot. It's beautiful city. So I'll definitely come back to both of the cities 100%. Would I live in Abu Dhabi or Dubai? Right now, the answer is no. And this is the reason why I say no. Firstly, when it comes to Dubai, Dubai is incredibly jaw-droppingly beautiful. It's everywhere you look is just stunning. It's upmarket. It's very alive. Come day, but Dubai is soulless. Dubai doesn't have an identity of its own. It's obsessed with trying to impress the rest of the world with high-rise building, with commercialism, etc. And it's too much. It's suffocating. It doesn't have any Muslim identity, Islamic identity, and it may have the Islamic design and it may follow the religion, but you don't see it within the lifestyles, within the actual place itself. And I don't mean that in terms of, you know, clothing or whatnot. It's just too much commercialized. Everywhere you look is high-rise building, shops. You know, pay for this. This is expensive. This is, you know, it's just so much. You know, it doesn't stop. There's still more. They're still building. They're continuously adding more. You know, you go to you know, Dubai Marina, and it's obscene the number of high-rise buildings they have there. It's too much. You can't breathe, and this is the problem with Dubai. Dubai seems like it's a child who was told it's not beautiful. It's an ugly child, and it's grown up to be a beautiful human being, but it's still convinced it's ugly. So it's doing all the plastic surgery on the planet and distorting its beautiful face in order to become, you know, in order to have that, in order to believe that it's still beautiful. It's still not beautiful enough. Dubai is a place that seems to, you know, just you know, it's that child. It's commercialized to the point of where it's suffocating. You know, to the point where there's so much grandeur, so much beauty, but it's so busy and it's constantly building, and it's, you know, it's not cheap to travel. It's not cheap to, you know, look around. You want to walk around and you can't because it's miles. Things are like miles away, etc. And the bus service is shite. You know, just, I don't know. I after the first day alone, I just thought, you know what, Dubai, I'm not coming back. I'm not going to Abu Dhabi and coming back again, or I'm not staying in my friend's place and staying, you know, spending another day here. One day for me was enough to experience it for what it was. Abu Dhabi, my statements about Abu Dhabi is that Abu Dhabi is authentic. Abu Dhabi is a steady place. Abu Dhabi knows what it is. trying to balance his Islamic morals and ethics with that of the rest of the world, and he's doing it really well. Anybody and everybody can come here and feel comfortable. Hold on, isn't it? It's also steady. What Abu Dhabi isn't, Abu Dhabi is impractical. It's impractical and it's a little bit bland. And I'll explain what I mean by that. Firstly, like I said, the bus service is shite. To top up the bus cards, there is 2 machines or 3 machines in the whole massive city. You have to constantly go to the main bus terminal. There is no guidance or instructions for visitors, etc. There isn't that quick access to everything. It obviously doesn't have the metro system and whatnot. So traveling around, you're constantly getting taxis and whatnot, and the attractions are quite far away from each other. The likes of Emirate Palace, Etihad, and the mall is quite nearby, but everything else, like the Yes Island, the Masjid, like Al Bahar Towers, etc. It's all spread out. So to go to places it's quite expensive, and like I said, if you want to you walk around. There isn't much to see, and the bland part of it is the fact that for a major city, it only has, I think, about 2 or 3 parks. There isn't much to do here, and I'm not talking about clubbing and whatnot, because all that I've never done anyway, and I'm totally against. But even there's no fields where people are playing football, or there's no parks. There's 1 or 2 like Khalifa, etc., but they're miles away. Within the actual core city center itself, there doesn't seem to be an active life. There isn't like your lifestyles of the world of sports centers, etc. So there isn't much to do when you come to Abu Dhabi. You see the 4 or 5 things, and then it's like, well, what now? I spent 4 days here, of which in the first 2 days I've done all that I needed to do attraction wise, and the last couple of days I've just been resting. Because where do I go? Because wherever I want to go attraction wise, I've already been in the first 2 days. But Dubai, Abu Dhabi needs a bit of Dubai, and that comes back to the ultimate question: which do I like better, Abu Dhabi or Dubai? That's what the question that everyone's always trying to ask you and answer, and the answer is both. That's the real answer. I know a lot of people will say, Dubai because it's got all those things, and then some people say, oh no, Abu Dhabi because it's more original and authentic. The thing is, they both complement each other. They're not competitors. Abu Dhabi is not competing with Dubai, and it can't, because Dubai is far superior in terms of urban city life, etc. But Abu Dhabi also has its moral code and its originality and its mixture of Arabness, which Dubai doesn't have. So they are so complementary to each other that if you do plan to come, if you say you have a 1-week holiday and you stay in Dubai I would recommend that you stay 5 days in Dubai and 2 days in Abu Dhabi, because Abu Dhabi will be quite therapeutic from Dubai, and it will be brilliant, and it will actually complement your holiday, and vice versa. If like me you've come and stayed in Abu Dhabi, definitely go to Dubai. Both of the places are fantastic for each other. So whenever people ask the question Abu Dhabi or Dubai, it's not a competition, because they're both different. It's not like who's better, Lionel Messi or Ronaldo, Cristiano Ronaldo. It's not that type of thing. It's just like one place is a striker and one place is a goalkeeper. So they both need each other. So yeah, I mean, God, it's 40 minutes. I cannot believe I spoke to that long. It's mad, because the longest video I've done so far is 20 minutes and this has gone 40 minutes. But I've said a lot of things. Honestly, hand on heart, apologies to anybody if I've offended you guys. I know I made my opening statements about to hell with European culture was a bit too much. My statements regarding Dubai being obscene and Abu Dhabi being bland is again is quite outrageous statements, and for all those three things I do apologize, because I think, you know, sometimes I don't think, you know, I just say it, you know, I just speak from the heart, and it's not always good to do that. Yeah, so, but coming back to answering the, you know, the questions, I hope I answered everything. I have gone on for too long a time. I think this is my 7th week of holidaying, and this is the first time I've ever done such a long holiday, and to be honest, I've been incredibly homesick for the last 2-3 weeks. I think a lot of my statements in this video and subsequently my body language in the last few videos sort of says, you know, I want to get back home, and I'm a little bit fed up. But so apologies for the, you know, the negativity and whatnot, but I still hold by my assessment regarding both of the cities. I think they're both wonderful, but they both need, you know, work. They both can improve a lot. Friend asked me, you know, should you come to Dubai? You know, and the answer to that is 100% yes. Should you come to Abu Dhabi? 100% yes. But make sure you save up. Make sure you have time on your hand. Make sure you have a lot of patience, because it's not a place for backpackers. It's not a place for, you know, it's not a budget holidays, etc. It can be quite expensive. So if you have the money saved, if you have time, if you have patience, you would love both of the cities incredibly. If you're looking for a, you know, quick holiday break and your budget is quite small, you know, don't waste your time coming here, because you know, you're not going to get joy from within your short time or within your, in a small budget. Yeah, so thank you. Before I finish, I just genuinely want to say, I mean, I've come to the end of my trip, and I'll make another video regarding, you know, my appreciation for that. But, you know, bottom line is, when it comes to Abu Dhabi and Dubai, I am incredibly glad and privileged to have to come to both of the cities. I've had a great time. I'm exhausted, I'm tired. A lot of my feedback is because of that. It's gonna maybe not, you know, my senses are a bit more negative and heightened and whatnot. But thank you, shukran Dubai, shukran Abu Dhabi for everything. A lot of love to you guys, and inshallah see you soon. Take care. Allah Hafiz.